All right. Well, thank you so much, Igor, for joining us today. And for those who are watching, I am Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm a non-medical type of doctor. I operate on business. And today, our guest is the owner and CEO of a phenomenal startup business who is growing exponentially. Please welcome Igor. Uh, Igor, if you wouldn't mind real quick for the audience, explain a little bit about what you and your business do.
That's always a tough portion. And like, this is actually one of the things that I had to polish and massage because I'm a technical person by nature, not a sales person. But kind of trying to craft like, what do we actually do when the responsibilities are so large and the stuff that we do is just kind of broad. So anyways, I'll try to do my best. Powersync is a technology company. We primarily work with merchants, so anybody who is selling, whether it's a brick and mortar or online. We're actually trying to move merchants from brick and mortar type of a concept to online concept. I split kind of our offering, so to speak, in three major categories. One is the systems integration, so it's saving business owners time. You cannot believe, like, when businesses are starting to grow, there's so many different aspects of so many different applications that businesses need to all of a sudden adopt and use. And we help them integrate all of those things so that you don't have to hire additional person to do manual data entry, moving data between all of those different applications. So that's one. Second, we are helping merchants with the online presence to help increase their revenue by about 20% or more through adopting subscription management type of business processes. It's kind of funny because a lot of the businesses who are in retail space telling me, like, we sell products. We can't adopt subscription. And I have not seen a single case where we were not able to present basically create such a strategy for a retailer where a subscription just doesn't work for their business. And the third is just basically custom app portal development. So anything that has to do with software, cloud-based, mobile-based tablets, and things like that. So that's my company in a nutshell.
Thank you. And just to give the audience an idea, how long have you been fully dedicated to this business?
Since December 2019, so a few months.
So at the time in which this is getting recorded, just about 5 months fully dedicated.
Yes.
And when you were, because you had a job previously as this and the business, when you were
do it as a hobby for 8 years. 8 years.
8 solid years of this being a hobby, just kind of on the side, not primary focus because you had a job. In December, when you were looking to really pivot into this being your full-time focus, what was the mindset that you were kind of in that moment of going, well, I'm jumping all in, so let's go find out what this actually can turn into? What was your mindset in that moment?
I'm gonna lie to you if I'll tell you I wasn't scared. Maybe I wasn't showing it much, but I'm pretty sure everyone would be in a similar mindset. Especially if they have a family to take care of, kids. I got 2 kids, so it was an interesting time. So I was kind of worried from that perspective, saying, how can I make sure that the revenue is stable, that it's predictable, to make sure I can continue to provide for them. And it's not like one of the things where, like, I play with this for a month and then, oh, it doesn't work, need to do something else. The mindset was like, there's just no other way. I have to make it work. So.
And, I know I've asked you this question in the past and you've kind of looked at me with the weirdest look, but in all honesty, looking back now, anytime someone's about to open up a business, when it's their full focus, that's how they're going to provide for their family holistically. It is scary. Business is scary. When you look back 5 months, what are your thoughts on it now, hindsight being 2020?
Definitely the best decision I've made. I probably should have done it sooner. But I'm kind of, again, like, this is kind of a weird answer because through the time, like through the 8 years of trying to, create this business, so to speak, even though that I realized it or not, I gained a lot of knowledge. If I jumped into this business sooner, there might have been other issues that I had to take care of, and maybe it would be hard, maybe it would be easier. So there's kind of like, if I did this sooner, I now can see the value and benefit of working for myself, so to speak. You don't have to deal with any of the red tape, BS politics and all of that stuff. You basically your own driver. Like if you want to move fast, you can move fast. If you want to be lazy, you can be lazy. Obviously not what you want to do with the business, but this is definitely like sky is the limit. I'll put it that way. So it's all about you and how much effort you want to put into it. And if you're full time, you will be amazed how much return you can get out of this. So
the point you made is a really interesting one, because something that we do see oftentimes is the fact that, when you start up a business, you really do have to be passionate about it to some degree, because there's a lot of energy and effort that goes into getting the momentum built to really see longevity in a business. So who specifically would you say your target audiences are?
Any business who sells services or products, physical products or services.
And do you have any specific ones that you prefer to work with over others because that's relatively broad?
Yes, it is relatively broad. So the niche, I guess, one of the products that we have is for the Magento e-commerce platform and Salesforce CRM. So, CRM, customer relationship management. And Magento e-commerce platform, I mean, it's kind of one of the best enterprise grade e-commerce platforms out there. So anyways, we work with those two and we specialize with those two. It's not kind of like, I don't want to limit ourselves to just those two platforms, but all the smarts that we have within the team, all the brains, they're really, really good with those two platforms. So hopefully that helps. I mean, I don't know if it answers your question.
It completely does.
Okay.
Team is really important when we look at the current, economic situation with COVID-19 and what it's done towards businesses and whatnot. Have you seen any specific pivots that you've needed to make? Has it had an effect on your business one way or the other?
No, not really. I mean, I got very lucky because when I was essentially conducting this business as a hobby, like my entire team is remote. So when I switched to full time, we're just continuing to stay remote. I didn't need to open up any offices and stuff like that. And when the virus hit, it was just like business as usual, right? Like people were working from home. It's okay. Everything is good. The only kind of negative impact that I've seen was just a very minor impact. I had some projects in the pipeline where the businesses who I was trying to sign up or help, they basically said, let's delay the project. We don't know what's going to happen financially. Let's come back in a couple of months. So there were just like a few cases where that happened. But in addition to that, I've actually seen a pretty large uptick in work from businesses that's just started to explode because of the coronavirus. So people need automation. All of a sudden, they either are growing too fast or they need automation. As I mentioned, they need automation. They're looking for new ways to generate revenue and stuff like that. So we kind of, it was still good. We're still growing. So
when you look at your ability to lead a virtual team, which a lot of business owners are about to do for their very first time, or they're in the process of learning, you've been doing it for a bit now. What would you say are the top one or two things that help make that leadership of a virtual team smooth?
It's a good question. So I used a bunch of different platforms. Like I used Skype in the beginning and just did a video because again, like my engineers are primarily overseas, a lot of them. And just being on the video helps because sometimes in the email, the content or message can be lost or intonation could be lost. So just being on the video, like whenever, like, let's say you need to give some hard news about pivoting from one project to another, just like if you're, in a happy mood, smiling, and like just it kind of helps communicate a little bit easier with those, with the remote team. I will say that now we got to the point where we're essentially meeting on daily basis with both with my technical team and with my content marketing team. Marketing team less on video, but we're using Slack and other tools of communication, and we meet on Zoom quite frequently nowadays. So
that's awesome, and that frequency can also help with communication. And you're absolutely right. I mean, emails can get misread just like a text message can, and so being able to visibly still see somebody and communicate can be really, really important.
Sorry to interrupt, but that doesn't only apply to running a remote team, but it also applies to your sales. Because what I've noticed is, like, before, when I did this as a hobby, I was barely on a video camera with my prospects. I was just either on a call or via email. And, even during that time, we were kind of growing a little bit, but just being on the call face to face, even if other people don't turn their cameras, I think is extremely helpful. So I think you were the one who gave me this feedback, so I applied it, and thank you for that. So that helped quite a bit.
You're very welcome. In times like this, we often help our clients focus on thinking differently. Business owners need to think differently. So as you have dedicated 100% of your time towards your business now versus having a job and this kind of being a hobby, what would you say have been one or two of the biggest lessons you've learned in needing to think differently?
Man, there's too many, but I guess at the top of my list is the 90-day plan that you, like, one, I don't know, it wasn't a conference, it was like a class that you gave, free class that we've attended. So just having that board always visible. And again, like, I initially thought, oh my God, all right, cool. Here's all my goals. Here's everything that I need to do, and I'll just stick to it. But then, like, literally within 2 days, I realized, I need to add new stuff to it. I need to remove things. And that plan keeps changing, where at the end, from one side, it may kind of set a bad connotation where, like, well, all the goals that I've set, I'm not actually hitting them. It's something else comes up. But on the other flip side, though, is what I realized is your business is never stale, right? It keeps changing. Like the industry or the stuff in the world keeps changing, like this coronavirus thing. And being able to being nimble is what will help you. Basically, it will what will help you grow the business at the pace that it should be growing or could be growing. So as far as you're nimble, as far as you can justify why your goals are changing and how they need to change, then it's all great. And that was one thing. And the other thing that I've also added is I bought this huge whiteboard. I mean, it's like 5 feet by 3 feet. And I created this huge annual dashboard for the whole year. How much profit am I making? What my expenses are, what my recurring revenue is, sales revenue, how many leads, pipeline, all of that stuff. And I'm tracking it on monthly basis because it makes sense for my type of business. But if you can do it more frequently, I think that's even more awesome. So that helped me quite a bit, just looking at those numbers on daily basis. And that by itself, if nothing else, if nothing else, it helps you understand where your business is overall, and and it also serves as a motivational factor. It's like looking at those numbers, saying, like, well, I think I can increase this number today. And like, you just go in and try to increase a single number, which then at the end has a pretty good positive impact.
Absolutely. And so the two things you hit on are absolutely critical. So if you're watching this right now, understand that planning your business out quarter by quarter is extremely important, and the marketplace is extremely dynamic. And so you must be working through a system that allows you to look at things at a granular level to be able to make those kind of shifts and pivots. And Igor, to your second point, business is math. And so when you understand the numbers, you really understand the rules of the game. And okay, we need to go focus on this one number right now. Let's go improve that. Once that one is improved, now we can go focus on really another one. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And if you're watching this out there, understand those are two vital key components to the success of your business. So second to last question, Igor, we have your contact information, which we'll, put it in the notes of this as we post it out there for others to learn from. Is there anything that you would like to add to those who are watching this?
Yes, actually, one other thing that I've learned in the last 3 months, and I wouldn't call it like I didn't know this before, I just didn't know how important it was. As a business owner, it really helps if you not only believe in your product, but if you can buy that product for the price that you offer. If you can sell yourself that your product is so amazing that you would pay yourself, then I think you will do X times more in generating revenue, rather than if you're not really sure trying to sell something that you have never used yourself and don't understand the value. So, set unrealistic goals, because I think that's something that helped me grow my business in the last 5 months when I was doing this full time, because every goal that I set is unrealistic. I know that, but I'm still trying to create a plan for me to hit those unrealistic goals. And because of that, I always feel like I'm maximizing my input and kind of input into the business, which again gives me the maximum return on what I can do. At least that's how I feel. So
that's phenomenal. And lastly, what would you say is inspiring you right now?
This is the first time in my life where I'm actually my own boss, and I get to choose how fast I want to grow, learn, and be able to see the things and the quality of stuff that I deliver. Because like working for somebody else, like I forgot who said this, but you can either work for somebody else and get paid for trying to what am I trying to say? Yeah, no, it's basically you're going to be working for somebody else and working for someone for that somebody else to get closer to their life goals, or you can do it for yourself, right? And every person, I think, with a proper dedication and proper drive, so to speak, can achieve any of these goals if their mind is into it. So just like I said, like if you're fully sold on what you're doing, you believe in it to the point where you're unreasonable, then you pretty much can do anything. A good example of that was when the internet was invented. Before that, everyone was saying like, yeah, it's impossible, until it was invented. So, and I think it's a good analogy saying, well, a lot of things are impossible right now until somebody goes and does it. So be that person who can go and do those things and be the trailblazer, so to speak.
Thank you for today. I really appreciate it. We'll have Igor's information here below. So if you want to get in contact with him about leveraging his business and his services or anything like that, we'll have that information available. Igor, thank you for your time today. I'm Dr. Michael Hartley. We're here to elevate your business, enhance your lifestyle. And if you'd like to sit down with us, we're happy to give you one complimentary session to take some of the learnings from this and how to apply them specifically to your business. Bye for now.